we have now moved on to the second objective of making of Pakistan, and that says, why was there no agreement about how India should be governed in the years 1927 to 1939. So in this specific objective, we will be covering the events that falls in this timeline. So the very first event that falls in this timeline is the Delhi proposals. The objective for it is impact of Delhi proposals on relations between Muslim League and Congress. Over here as well, we will also see the short-term impact and the long-term impact on the relationship between the two parties. So first of all, let's see what is the first impact of the Delhi proposals. So the Delhi proposals initially improved the relations between the Muslim League and the Congress, because they showed willingness for compromise. There was some extent of willingness for compromise. Now we will see what was that. The proposals included important Muslim demands such as 1/3 of Muslim representation in the central legislature, separation of Sindh from Bombay. I have written here two for you. There were also reforms in the northwest frontier province demanded by the Muslim League, and protection of Muslim religious rights. These were the demands made in Delhi proposals. Jinnah also suggested that Muslims might give up. Now this is, see, the compromise. Jinnah also suggested that Muslims might give up separate electorates if these safeguards were accepted. This flexible approach created hope for the cooperation and temporarily reduced the tensions between the two groups. So the minor compromise which was suggested by Jinnah, that they will give up separate electorates if all of their demands that have been made in Delhi proposals, if they get accepted. Okay, so for some time the tensions, they got reduced. Secondly, the rejection of several key points of the Delhi proposals by Congress, it worsened the relations between the two. Congress was unwilling to fully accept Muslim demands like separate electorates, guaranteed representation. They were not willing to accept that. Although some minor concessions were discussed, which was not acceptable to the Muslims. The refusal of accepting the major safeguards made Muslims feel politically insecure. Now, this rejection was seen by the Muslim League as evidence that Congress was not serious about protecting minority rights. So, as a result, the trust between the two groups declined very sharply, increasing the political distance and suspicion. अब आप देखिए एक जगह पे क्या हो रहा है कि the tensions, they are becoming reduced, whereas as soon as the Congress rejected the demands of the Muslim League, so what is happening, that suspicion and the political distance, it has started to increase. Let's see another one. The failure of the Delhi proposals, it also had some long-term impact. Okay? Now let's see what's that. The failure of the Delhi proposals basically widened the political divide between the Congress and the Muslim League. Okay? Muslims realized that even moderate and constitutional compromises were not acceptable to Congress. So this was a very big breakthrough for the Muslim League, that Congress are not even willing to accept their minor demands. This disappointed the Muslim League, and this disappointment basically, it strengthened the belief that Muslims needed a separate political identity to safeguard their interests. Consequently, the Muslim League moved away from cooperation and began focusing on independent political strategies. Over time, this breakdown in negotiations contributed to growing communal divisions, which further on shaped the demand for a separate Muslim homeland. So as you can see, it's more of a long-term impact, क्योंकि political divide हो गया दोनों में. कांग्रेस जो थे वो उनके किसी किस्म के डिमांड्स को एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे. So it really disheartened the Muslims. it gave way to increase the gap between the two. So मुसलमानों ने भी ये सोचा कि instead of cooperating with the Congress, it's better that we devise our own political strategy, and further on it led to the formation of a separate homeland.